company, and do not turn around to see, because if you do, you will walk alone for eternity. Walls are stained with all romance, you know it's easy to enhance, and it's so easy to go insane from but a glance. But I know, yes I know in my heart that my soul is lost without you. So I won't, no I won't look back. There are days when things are bright, though sometimes I get a blurry sight. You are the bearer and I will follow your guiding light. 'Cause I know, yes I know in my heart that my soul is lost without you. So I won't, no I won't look back. And I know, yes I know in my heart that my gaze can break us in two. So I don't, no I don't look back. But I know, yes I know in my heart that my soul is lost without you. So I don't, no I don't look back. And I know, yes I know in my heart that my gaze can break us in two. So I don't, no I don't look back. glass walls, and may your blood run cold through your palms. Love awaits you on the flat field, don't you just know that love awaits you on the field? Not really codes to be deciphered unless you want them to be. But night falls, oh night falls, falls over me. And as night falls, darkness calls, so meet it be. Unless you're coming on your own, there is more than you to lose. Don't fake the trembling of your feet if your intentions are deceit. Unless you're coming on your own, girl, he doesn't even wanna know who you are. Don't you knock on the door to the house of affection unless you're coming on your own. Don't you knock on the door to the house of affection. I see you coming for your own sake. Another heart will come of use. You cut it up and let it bleed, and it's your ego that you feed. Unless you're coming on your own, boy, she doesn't even wanna know what might have been. Don't you knock on the door to the house of affection unless you're coming on your own. Don't you knock on the door to the house of affection unless you're coming on your own.
Guys, I have a problem with my balls. You might want to get that looked at. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My balls are fine, actually. Now that we mention it. Thanks for asking, though. Hello, folks. How are we doing? How are you doing tonight? Are you gonna make another Outlast Trials video? I'd like to. Honestly, I would love to make more Outlast content. Problem is, I just can't do it with the channel's current trajectory right now. That's why what I really like doing these days is like collaborating with other Outlast content creators like Happy Heart. Him and I have something coming up actually. It's going to go on his channel, but I'm going to be a big part of it. So, what tracks were you using? Actually, I'll switch over real quick. I'll show you all. This is the album Passiflora by Tobias Forge. That's what was playing during the waiting room part. Passiflora was one of Tobias's projects before he became known for Ghost. This is very like ethereal, melancholy, like pop rock, I'd say. This album actually never saw the light of day until last year, even though it was recorded in 2008, I believe. So, Passiflora is like an oddity. It's like a rare gem, but it only got leaked because one of like the 10 people who owned it decided to do it. And it's all the songs are about love and romance, so I thought I'd play it in honor of Valentine's Day, which is today, and also I just like the music in general, which is weird because I kind of like soft pop rock isn't really my thing, but Passiflora is like it's very like tonally like what's the word? Like I said, ethereal, mysterious, a little melancholy, which I like. So yeah, Passiflora, good album. It's on YouTube. No ads. I don't think this is gonna get copy struck. How is your Valentine's Day today? Well, I spent it with my one true love, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. No, I'm kidding. I actually spent it reading one of the books that I have planned for upcoming review. Before you get into this, reminder that Cream the Rabbit is an actual character, and she's a minor. You know what? That's one of those things I was hoping to get to talk about at some point, because that is so unbelievably messed up. Like, I know, like, fan artists, fan fiction writers, they will take minors and, like, age them up for their smut. And I think that's weird. I think that's really weird. But that being said, at least with some things I can understand it. Like the Avatar The Last Airbender characters, when I see when I see them aged up to 18, I'm like, that's still weird, but at least you don't have to take as many leaps and bounds. Finding out that Cream the Rabbit is 6 years old canonically. No, absolutely not. No, 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 no. Fuck that. I do not. Charmy is also 6. well, that just makes the whole sacrificing Jesus to Moloch and severed head in the theater even funnier. Nick, given your taste in music, I'm afraid you won't like the godsend that is Jeff Wayne, Sad Days for Us All. Yeah, I have no idea who that is, so maybe that's a good thing. Some things you don't have to know, Yeah, Amy is 12. Does that mean Sonic is also 12? Like, canonically? Because if Amy's simping for Sonic hardcore, then that also makes Sonic like 12, right? That guy has a lot of moxie for a 12-year-old, though, admittedly. Sonic is 15. Okay, and Amy Rose is 12. So that's kind of like a kid crush, like you see in like movies all the time, right? How some younger girl simps for a guy who's older than him, like what's her name? Mabel from Gravity Falls. She liked to hit on a lot of older guys, I remember. Nick, you should check out Outlast on AO3. I mean, I would. I might. There's probably a lot of good stuff there. And how old is Tails? And also as well, is he like a child, like an actual child? There's also allegedly a Mario High School. Mario High School. Now that's funny because I know Mario a lot, so I'm pretty sure a Curse Mario fanfic would actually be. Tails is 8? Come on! Come the fuck on! Ugh. Jesus fucking Christ. What is with this fanfiction? I swear to God. Ugh. Good lord. Tails is 8, Knuckles is... Is it one of those things where, like, he's 8 in, like, human years, but in Fox years he's, like, 34? I don't fucking know. Nick, who's your favorite Koopaling if you know Mario so much? I like Ludwig a lot, and I think Iggy is a close second. But Ludwig is cool because he's a little, what's the word? He's more aloof, and also he's named after Ludwig Beethoven, so... Which I like. Rouge is 18, Shadow is... Cream is... Seriously. Cream is fucking 6. Yeah, I love Ludwig. He's a good Koopaling. Okay. Well, we're going to give it about 3 minutes for people to trickle in, and then we're going to switch over to the actual fanfic. Ludwig has amazing hair. True. That's how he's able to fly, actually, in a New Super Mario Bros. Wii. He's not doing a flutter jump. He's actually flying with his hair. Can we read my favorite feminist poetry, Sonic High School, now? Yeah, in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, I promise. We're just chatting right now. So yeah, this is messed up. Agreed. Yeah. Martin is my goat Koopaling. That's fair. Eggman is stated to be less than 50. I mean, that's fine. If he's, I mean, I could see him being in his late 40s. Knuckles canonically glides with airflow from his dreads. Okay. My favorite thing ever is Shy Guy. Agreed. Yeah, no, Shy Guy is like such a underrated villain. I hope they bring back Shy Guys in, like, as enemies in other Mario games. Iggy always clicked with me. Yeah, I can see that. Where's the love for my boy Larry? Larry's, he's not my least favorite Koopaling, but I just find him kind of, plain. This might sound weird, but would you make a review on Lolita? Maybe. I do have one book of a similar vein in the pipeline. It's like going to be a more serious review, but the subject matter is disgusting, so... Can't wait to look at that. Shy Guy's out of FNAF character book. That's a Mario enemy. Oh, for fuck's sake. The Loud House fanfiction. I have heard so many things about the Loud House fanfiction that's as big as the Bible or longer. Do you like history books? Do you have any? I like history as a topic, but I don't know if I have any history. Oh, actually, I do have a history book. Oh, what's it called? Hold on. Let me. I think I actually have it in my room. Let me grab it real quick. So I have this one book. I guess it counts as a history book. This one, River of Darkness, about the first Spanish conquistadors' treks down the Amazon River. This was really good. I like this a lot. Good book. So, there's that. Okay, 7:40. We have Hi Nick, much love from Brazil. Gotta get to go fast. Thank you for the 2 Brazilian monies. I actually can't remember off the top of my head what the Brazilian currency is, so... Okay. So we're going to switch over to the fan fiction now. And we're going to give a brief introduction. So, as we all know, this is Sonic High School as it appears on AO3, because The original fanfiction.net version got deleted and then re-uploaded by Dark Doom Firemaster, but missing all the author's notes. This one, however, seems to have preserved the author's notes, so we're going to be reading that as well. And one more thing before we begin. How many people have in the chat? 68 people in the chat. 74 people in the chat right now. Holy fuck. Thank you all for showing up. You guys make this a lot of fun. So I just got to say that. You guys make this super fun. Okay, so before we begin, just disclaimer. There is unsavory language in here. And no, I don't mean like cursing or sexual references. I mean like, slurs and rather outdated language that, was probably funny in the 2010s, but is not so funny now. I am not self-censoring. I'm going to be reading this fanfiction exactly as is, just for the sake of authenticity and preservation of history. So, also, like, I have to admit, like, that style of humor, like, was my sense of humor when I was a teenager, so, I mean, it kind of hits me in a sort of, like, nostalgic way. Obviously, I've outgrown that at this point, but whatever, I'm just not going to say anything more. Anywho, so, here we go. Without further ado, we are starting with Sonic High School, written by Dark Doom Firemaster, re-uploaded by Dank Matter. Chapter 1, Sonic's Journal. Sonic woke up and looked at the clock. 7 o'clock, it said, and Sonic screamed. "I am late for school. I have to get to school now," said Sonic, jumping out of bed. Sonic put his clothes on really fast and ran out of his room because he is fast. "No time for breakfast," said Sonic as he ran past Sonic's mom. Holy shit, hold on. Small corner of the internet donated $10. If you want a good fan fiction that's too good for being fan fiction, check out The Force Shepherds or Advice and Trust. Read it for your mental health. Always appreciate the advice. Thank you for the $10. I was always looking for new stuff to read, so thank you for that. Okay. "No time for breakfast," said Sonic as he ran past Sonic's mom. Why is he... "You will regret this," said Sonic's mom, leering at him from the kitchen stove, wearing aprons and oven mitts on her hands. Sonic did not care. He was late. Sonic ran outside and ran to the bus stop where people were getting on the bus. "Tails, Knuckles, wait for me," said Sonic as he ran towards the bus. "Hey, Knuckles, it's Sonic," said Tails to Knuckles at the bus stop. "He is late," said Knuckles to Tails before getting on the bus. Sonic ran so fast to the bus and he got on the bus after Tails. "Just in time," said Sonic, huffing and puffing like he was doing the Cupid shuffle for the first time. Oh, jeez, that line. Sonic sat down next to Tails, and Knuckles sat behind them, taking up both seats. "I'm so bad," said Knuckles, laughing because he sat where two people could sit. Knuckles did this every day, and no one bothered him, but they all knew it was against the rules of both man and God. The bus started and drove at the school, and parked and they got out. "We're at school now," said Tails. "It is time to go to class." Sonic was also at school, so he went to his first class of the day, English class. Sonic did not like English very much, but he did not like any class very much that was not about running and going fast, which is what Sonic does best. Sonic got to his class and sat down in his seat. "It is journal day," said Sonic's English teacher, Mrs. Lesson. Mrs. Lesson was tall and white and had gray hair, and she was not pretty. "Take out your journals and put them in a pile, and I will read one of your entries to the class." Sonic took out his blue journal and ran to the front quickly and put his journal on her desk and ran back to his desk with all with his head down and not talking or looking at anyone. Small corner of the internet does $2. Cuban Shuffle, the staple of counterculture. Interesting. Thank you for the $2. Sonic was so fast that he did it first. Everyone else did it afterwards, and slower. So that's the other thing. He's so eager to show off his journal, but then this is the one she turns to. Mrs. Lesson grabbed a journal from the pile, and Sonic knew it was his because it looked just like Sonic's journal. Sonic knew this was because he had written in it so many times it was crazy. Alan the Cat 07 Productions, $2. I'm watching this on my Wii. No, I'm not joking. Super bass, dude. Honestly, good for you, bro. You have your Wii and it still has the internet connection, so I wish my Wii still had Netflix. Anyway, Mrs. Lesson opened to a totally random page, and it was the worst page she could pick. She began to read. Dear Journal, I called the doctor today about a problem. I have a problem with my balls. They are itchy, and it is difficult to sit still with them because they are so itchy. I have to back up against stucco surfaces and rub up and down on them to relieve the itchiness. No creams have worked. Creams only make my ball sweat smell like the breath of a thoroughbred, and I think Amy, my girlfriend, noticed. I hope my doctor calls. Love, Sonic. Oh no! Stop reading! Said Sonic, but he reacted too late because it was already read, all of it. Everyone in class laughed, and Sonic felt like an idiot asshole because now everyone knows about his ball problems. Sonic felt his rage build up inside him like a pool of lava in a volcano. Stop laughing at me! Don't tell anyone! Shouted Sonic, but everyone was laughing so loud that they did not hear him, and Sonic was just so embarrassed and mad and sad, but more embarrassed, so he ran out of the class fast. Sonic ran to his locker and opened it and screamed into it. He screamed, "This sucks!" And curse words, too. What is the problem? Said Tails. Are you mad? Said Tails. Sonic was mad, so he nodded. You should tell everyone that it is okay to have problems with your balls, and that they probably have problems that they do not want everyone to know about too, so stop laughing at me. Sonic thought Tails was right because Tails was smart. Knuckles was there too, so he said, Sonic, what's this I heard about you're having problems with your penis and balls? Sonic was so mad again, so he punched Knuckles and ran away quick. Where Sonic ran to was his next class. It is now second period, so it was okay. And that class was history class. Sonic did not care about history class. Hey, Amy, said Sonic. Check me out. And Sonic did a dance move. Wow, cool. Let's kiss, said Amy. And Sonic and Amy kissed right there in the class, and some of the other people in the class watched, but the teacher wasn't there yet, so they didn't get in trouble. And who was going to tell Sonic he can't kiss his girlfriend in class? Amy kissed Sonic so hard that he was thinking, let's have sex. But he didn't say it because the teacher would show up by the time they started to have sex in history class. Sonic kissed back really hard, and it was sexy to everyone. The teacher arrived and they did class, but Sonic just looked at Amy the whole time, who was sitting next to Rouge. Amy and Rouge talked and they looked at Sonic sometimes and laughed, and Sonic thought Amy was telling her about how awesome Sonic kissed her, but it was not. Rouge was telling Amy about Sonic's gay ball problems, and Amy was Sonic's girlfriend, but she thought it was just the funniest thing ever. Class ended, and Sonic went to Amy quick and did not stop on the way. Hey, Amy, why do you go telling Rouge about how hard we kiss? Said Sonic with a smile on his face that meant he did not care that Amy did this, and really wanted her to because it made him look cooler. Actually, Rouge was telling me about the problems with your balls and penis and butthole that everyone found out about in your English class. Wow, was Sonic surprised. He did not know what to say. Ugh. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, this is awful. That was only chapter 1. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, boy. At least it feels shorter than Moondaughter, though. Moondaughter was just a freaking pain to get through. Did this author even have a smidge of understanding on the carnal acts of the flesh? We'll get there. Probably when we finish the review. Another $5 from a small corner of the internet. This whole thing reminds me of an ironically bad Filthy Frank sketch. By the way, when are you going to read Francis of the Filth? Unlike this, it's actually fun. God, I love Filthy Frank. I'm glad that, he's, Joji's off doing better things, but Filthy Frank was just a corner of the internet that, I just like. I miss it. I'm gonna be real, I miss it. Chapter 2. The Prom. The rest of the day for Sonic was awful. So bad it was that Sonic went home and went right to the bathroom and took a big poop. It was a mad poop because it went out fast. I had one of those earlier today. It shooted out of his butthole so fast that it was like a gun shooting. His poop stunk so bad that even the neighbors could smell it, and they all had a meeting that night about what to do about it, and they decided they would just put up fans on outside, and if it really started to smell again, they would do something else. So Sonic pooped and went up to his room and shouted into his pillow, "I hate everything!" Sonic shouted loud, and he heard a knock at his door. "What is wrong, Sonic?" asked Sonic's mom. "Nothing's..." "Nothing," said Sonic. Oh, my lord. "Okay, just keep it down because I'm trying to watch the TV," said Sonic's mom to Sonic, and left without saying anything else. Sonic was in his room still, so he looked out the window and saw Tails flying there with his flying tails. "Sonic, are you okay?" asked Tails. "I was worried about you, Sonic." Sonic was less mad because Tails was always nice and smart and didn't care that Sonic left his porns around his room so he could think about kissing and doing sex on Amy when he wasn't with Amy. "Please be happy," said Tails. "Are you there?" Sonic went to the window and opened the window. Sonic grabbed Tails and put him on the bed because Sonic is strong too. "This day was the worst," said Sonic. "Everyone thinks I am a gay loser, all because I gave them my journal." Sonic cried a little, and Tails put his hand under his face to catch his tears. Tears can stain a carpet. Tails hugged Sonic and said, "I am always here for you. The prom is tonight also." "Wow, I forgot," said Sonic. Sonic ran to his closet fast and pulled out his prom uniform. It's a tuxedo. And put it on faster. "Is our limo here yet, Tails?" said Sonic while looking at Tails. "Yes," said Tails right back. Oh, the redundancy of this is just so freaking awful. It's like pure cancer. "Let's go," and Sonic went outside with Tails, who was also in prom clothing, and they went outside and got in the limo. "The limo is broken," said the limo driver, who looked like a person, but darker colored. Sonic and Tails got out of the limo and asked the limo driver if they could fix it. "Nope, the limo is broken eternally," said the limo driver. So Sonic grabbed Tails' hand and said, "Let's go," and ran all the way to the prom, which was on an island called Ghost Island. "This place is scary," said Tails. Ghost Island was really scary. It was shaped like a skull, and everything looked like it was dead. Sonic looked at Tails. "Yeah, it is," said Sonic. "Why put the prom on this island?" said Tails. "I don't see anyone else from the school here." Tails and Sonic were both worried about it all. Sonic and Tails walked forward, and there was a haunted house. Sonic and Tails went to the haunted house, and it was spooky. Sonic saw a ghost, and Tails saw a mummy. There was a man laughing. "Ha ha ha, Sonic and Tails. Now you are both here and fallen right into my trap," said the man laughing. The man looked like a fat, immature gay. It was Eggman. "Pingus!" "Eggman, why you are here?" asked Sonic and shouted at Eggman. "Are you here for the Chaos Emeralds?" Sonic shook his fists at Eggman and Tails ran at him, but what an idiot he was because a cage fell down from the sky and trapped Tails. "You are doomed now," said Eggman. "Welcome to a graveyard of you." Sonic was shocked, but he did not run forward because he did not want to get caught too, but what if Eggman did not have another cage? Sonic did not know, so he went to the side in a different room. This room was smaller and had carpets and wallpaper, as rooms are ought to do. It was still scary, though. Sonic said, "I need to find a way out and to save Tails," and he walked into a door that was on the next wall. Next thing, said Sonic, and he came out of the room into the same room he was in. This is a haunted house, so you always come back to the same place, said Sonic, thinking of a famous saying he saw once on the wall of a Walgreens where it was written. Eggman laughed and pointed at Sonic. I kissed Amy, and now you can never date her again because I'm going to do sex with her tonight. No, this cannot be real, said Sonic. Sonic knew he had to do something. But what? Unbelievable. Love how Eggman appears once and never again. Seriously, I thought this whole thing was going to be about, like, Eggman, but he appears for these, like, first 2 chapters, and then nothing. So how's the limo driver going to head back home now? You know, if only you were there to help him write this, then you could have, like, rectified that plot hole, honestly. Please, my guy, do the voices. I'll try. I mean, I don't want to, like, blow out my vocal cords trying to, like, do Tails' voice or whatever. Eggman, you're 40. Why are you touching Amy? Oh, jeez. We need to do the voices. I'll try and do voices. Okay. Okay, so my Sonic voice will just be my voice. I don't know what to do for Tails. I don't know what to do for Eggman. I don't know what to do for anyone else either. So. Unnecessary lewdness in rom-com fanfics pisses me off. Honestly. Like, we don't need this. We don't need any of this crap, right? Ugh, okay. Chapter 3. The 2 most important people. Sonic ran the fastest right to Dr. Eggman, right through his traps, and jumped at the floating platform that Eggman was standing on. I'm coming for you, said Sonic, and he jumped up, right to the platform, and got so close, but fell because it was just too high to reach even for Sonic. Sonic said, damn, and ran up the staircase that was in the middle of the big room that were under Eggman. Sonic ran to the top, and at the top he jumped again from a higher spot, and this time reached the platform because it was easier to get to. Now you are mine, shouted Sonic right to Eggman in his ear. I am not going to fall this easily, said Eggman, who then grabbed a crystal remote out of his pocket and pressed a button on it that made a dome of lasers around Eggman. Get out of here, yelled Eggman. I am Eggman, and I will have my way with the treasures of this island, said Eggman. I'm so tired of saying Eggman. Eggman flew up higher on his platform, and Sonic had already fell from the lasers that were on the floating platform, so Sonic didn't get to go too. Eggman disappeared into a purple and black portal at the top of the ceiling. Hello? And Sonic was left at the bottom of the room on the middle of the stairs. Amy still has to be here somewhere, and I need to get Tails out of that locked cage, said Sonic, thinking about what he should do next. Sonic ran up the stairs really fast and down the hallway at the top of the stairs on the 2nd floor. Sonic picked a door and ran right into the door. The room Sonic ran into had a big picture of an old man on it, and he looked just so old it was like seeing a skeleton right there. Sonic said, "This man probably died ages ago and left all his money from being in real estate to his sons who build this place." Sonic thought this was not the right room to be in, so he left it and went to the next room. That was completely pointless. That was completely fucking pointless. Honestly. This was the right room to be in, Sonic knew immediately. There was a big red bed, and Amy was tied with a rope around her feet and hands, and there was another rope around her head with a lock in her mouth so she couldn't open it or say anything at all. Sonic ran right to the bed without doing anything before doing that, and untied Amy with his sonic speed. "I am so glad you are here," said Amy. "This prom is not turning out like I hoped it would when I bought this dress." I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the voices, okay? Amy was wearing a pretty red dress that was like what she normally wears, but longer, and there were 2 flowers on the 2 shoulders. Amy's dress also made her boobs look bigger, Sonic noticed. Sonic thought for just a moment that this was the perfect moment to get her to give sex to him, but he did not do it because Tails still needed help. "Where is the key to open Tails' cage?" said Sonic to Amy. "We need to open Tails' cage. He can't get out of the cage." "I saw Eggman putting a key in a safe behind the picture in the room you were just in," said Amy. So let's get to it! Amy and Sonic ran to the next room and Sonic got there first. He is the faster one in the relationship. Sonic punched his big, strong hand right through the painting like a bodybuilder and found the safe behind the painting. This safe needs a password, said Sonic. What could it be? Sonic thought long and hard about everything he knew about Eggman. Sonic knew Eggman was a gay asshole who always ruined Sonic's plans to be the hero, and now he ruined Sonic's prom. Sonic tapped on his brain and thought harder. Maybe the password is his name, said Amy. It was not, and Sonic knew it before Sonic put it into the safe lock. I love her for her body, thought Sonic. Sonic thought harder and had an idea. What if the password is Sauk Sudularime? Finally shouted Sonic at Amy next to him. Amy, who was there, said, What does that mean? I don't know how long I can do this, I'm sorry. Amy, Sonic's girlfriend, was confused. It is Chaos Emeralds backwards, what he really wants but messed up so he could not guess it, screamed Sonic so happy. Sonic typed the password into the safe and, would you know it, it popped open and there was this big key, so Sonic took it. Sonic ran down the stairs and then Amy did, and Sonic opened Tails' cage and Tails got out. I am so glad to be safe once again. Thanks to you, Sonic, the day is saved. Tails was smiling bigger than a crocodile having a silly dream, but Sonic was not. What is wrong, Sonic? Everything is right now, said Sonic. What? I think this was Tails' line, actually. What is wrong, Sonic? Everything is right now. No, it's not, said Sonic so mad and sad. Eggman got away without a real punishment for what he did. Sonic shook his face at the sky, thinking about how Eggman slipped away like a slippery balloon that Sonic let go of. But we are all safe, Amy said. That is what really matters. Sonic figured right then that Amy's superpower must be being nice, because like he knew before, it wasn't being smart, which Tails was best, and Sonic is also good at it too. Sonic did not even think about how his day at school was bad anymore because his balls did not really even itch anymore. Sonic laughed, Tails laughed, Amy laughed, and they went home ready for the next day of high school. This chapter is completely unimportant to the story, lol. Guys, this whole fanfic wasn't important to the story. Let's be real. This is awful. This is actually awful. There are so many run-on sentences. Agreed, yeah, no, it's... sometimes I tend to, like, stammer and slip over my words. This is not helping. This is not helping. I gotta take this off. I'm getting overheated. Hold on. Ugh. Yeah, y'all are getting a show tonight, that's for sure. Whew. Okay. My superpower, my favorite superpower, being nice. Yeah, it's, if Amy were a Planeteer, her power would be heart, definitely. Anyway. Chapter 4. Getting a date. Sonic... Sorry. Sonic did like in the first chapter and went to school again. Now it's lunchtime and Sonic was in the lunchroom. Sonic was telling all of the people at his table, who were Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Espio, and Charmybee, about what did happen yesterday, but Tails already knew, so he was nodding his head like a good friend. You should have seen it, said Sonic. I was in the haunted house, and I shot Eggman, but I let him get away right before I could have killed him. Sonic laughed, and Tails laughed at the same time. Knuckles said, You should stop going on these cool adventures because high school is more important, said Knuckles, and Sonic knew he was right because it's called Sonic High School, and it should be more about the high school part. Which is worse? This is Sonic Shooter. Also to piss off my friend Hannah, can you say Has-Been Hotel is overrated? You don't have to pay me to say Has-Been Hotel is overrated. Fuck Has-Been Hotel. I've actually never watched it, but I could just tell watching it it's not a show I'd like, so... But no, you don't need to pay me to badmouth Has-Been Hotel, so... There's that. Thanks for the $5, though. Making fun of has-been hotels a privilege in and of itself. So Sonic asks them all what they're up to. Well, I am entering the science competition, said Tails. To win the science competition, I have to come up with the best invention, and my invention is this invisibility hat. It makes you invisible, but I can't do it right now because I have to make sure it works perfect for the science competition. Tails was so smart that Sonic knew he would win the science competition because Tails is like Inestine. Best character, Inestine. Nerd! Shout Knuckles right into Tails' ear. What a bad guy. I am just hanging out and not going to class because I want to cause trouble, said Knuckles. Knuckles was so bad that he would cause trouble. Sonic thought Knuckles was a fuck. Shadow was next, and he was badder than Knuckles, but in a different way. I'm not going to be around much longer. Oh wait, that's Knuckles. Hold on. Wait, no, that's Shadow's line. That's Shadow's line. Her reaction was glorious. Thanks, Nick. You're welcome. Like I said, it's my pleasure. Thanks for the $2 again, by the way. So Shadow said that line. I said that in Shadow's voice, even though Knuckles said it. So I'm just going to ignore that. He always did ellipsis at the end of what he was saying because it was mysterious. Where are you going? Said Tails, because he was curious. I am going to kill my parents, said Shadow. See, this is how Shadow is worse than Knuckles. He did serious bad things. At least at the end of the day, Knuckles could sleep. Shadow was too dark for that. I'm going to try out for the football team, said Espio. Espio was athletic like Sonic, but not as fast, but he had a horn on his nose that was good for attacking people in front of him, so Sonic thought he would be good at football. I am going to try out for the play, said Charmy Bee. Charmy Bee was loud and singing always. You're an annoying fag, so you should do great, said Knuckles. Do not hurt my feelings, said Charmy. Charmy was used to being hectored, so he was able to remove himself from his potent fury. Did you see Rouge just now? Said Espio. She's looking so hot in her tiny bra. Espio obviously wanted to kiss her deep. You should ask her out, said Sonic. But the prom was yesterday, said Espio. Well, that is okay, you can date any time, said Sonic. Oh, said Espio. Well then, I am gonna kiss and sex her tonight. Espio was like a little boy looking at his mom's boob for the first time. Sonic and Tails together were both looking at each other, and they wanted to help Espio. We're gonna help you get a date, said Sonic and Tails at the same time simultaneously. And we're gonna do it right now, said Sonic and Tails. Sonic and Tails got up and both grabbed one of Espio's arms and dragged him across the room. Sonic did the most dragging because he was stronger, and put him right at Rouge. Wolfie says, I don't have a crazy fanfic to suggest, but Tamer12345's videos are the most batshit insane and hilarious Sonic fan content ever made. I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know, I know, people seem a little shocked, but I did say at the beginning of the story I wasn't going to self-censor because I just wanted to, like, you know, deliver this fic as it was meant to be. It's not an endorsement, it's just me actually saying what's written on the page. So. Okay, so Rouge is, like, really sensual, right? Like, she's deliberately designed to be, like like a femme fatale, like, glamorous woman, right? What is this about? Said Rouge with a questioning that was not glamorous or sensual. I am so sorry. Holy fucking shit. What is this about? Said Rouge with a questioning sound. She blinked her eyelids quickly like a race car. What do you want? Why are you here? Espio looked right into her eyes with a passion like 100 barking dogs and said, Rouge, will you go out with me? Espio was sweating, and there were drops of sweat dropping out of his hands in front of her. Jesus. I don't know, said Rouge, and looked at Espio. Rouge gave him a sexy look that made Espio feel in love. Please do it, said Sonic and Tails together at the same time. Okay, we can go on a date tonight, said Rouge. Sonic and Tails and Espio were stoked and high-fived right there. By the time this night ended, one of them would have done their first sex. Now here's the hard part, said Espio. How do I put sex in her without getting in trouble? Put sex in her, Jesus Christ. Sonic and Tails looked at each other and thought, uh-oh, and Espio walked out while holding on to... Oh. Espio walked out while holding on to Rouge's boobies because they are now boyfriend and girlfriend and it's allowed to do it. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay, never mind, I'm having a stroke. How TF do you blink like a race car? Maybe he was thinking about the movie Cars? I don't know, how they have, like, you know... Do they blink with windshield wipers? I don't know. That'd be clever if they did. Anywho. Moving on. Because fuck this story. Chapter 5. Alan the Cat donated $2, says, I'd rather have been in Hiroshima in 1949. Also, yes, it would have been less radioactive there than here right now. Anyway. Chapter 5. Preparations. It was the end of the day at school, and it was time that Sonic and Tails and Knuckles got back on the bus at the bus stop to board it all the way home from school. We are on the bus now, said Tails. No more classes. Tails was happy but sad because he is smart. Sonic and Tails sat down together and Knuckles sat right in the middle of the aisle, which he usually did not do, but sometimes did when not everyone was on the bus. Reading this thing is like my tongue feels like it's made of cotton. I swear. It looked like Espio and Rouge were not on the bus because they were too busy getting ready to go sex tonight now that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Knuckles laid across the aisle even more stretched out than when he just sat across 2 seats because now the limits were the... What? Wait, what? Because now the limits were the Alpha and Omega. How can we help Espio? Said Sonic to Tails. Tails that's Sonic talking. How can we help Espio? Said Sonic to Tails. Tails responded, I don't know, and thought about it on the bus. The bus drove bumpy on the bumpy full roads all the way home, and then they got out at the bus stop that they normally got in the bus at just like always. Sonic ran out of the bus, and then Tails and then Knuckles in order. Time to go home, said Tails. We are almost there. And they walked the rest of the way to home. When they got home, it was dinner time, and Sonic was at a different home from Tails and Knuckles because they were all in different families, so they did not live together, and Sonic's mom made a dinner. Sonic's mom made Chinese food, and Sonic ate it, and at the end there was a fortune cookie, and Sonic broke it open and ate the cookie part and kept the paper that was inside that held a magical fortune on it. Sonic looked at the fortune and read to himself inside of his head. The path to glory begins at the base of your friend's penis, said Sonic inside of his head, reading the fortune cookie paper, and he knew it was a good sign for what was about to happen tonight when Espio and Rouge went to sex. Then the phone ringed. Sonic ran to the phone and picked it up and said, Hello, into it. It was Tails. I have an idea, said Tails on the phone to Sonic, who was listening but not speaking. I can give Espio my invisibility hatch that for the science competition, and he can use it to do sex for Rouge. Sonic smiled so wide, like the King of Fire finding out he Hold up. We gotta really highlight this one. Sonic smiled so wide, like the King of Fire finding out he burned down New York City with only his fire powers. That's the most baffling thing in this story so far. Sonic and Tails went to Espio's house later, which was not too easy to walk to normally for most people, but Sonic is super fast, so he ran there, and holy shit, hold on a second. A small coin there, $20. I'm sorry about my small dedicated followers. I cannot deliver on my Sonic fanfiction about Shinji's come back in time fortune because I don't want to hurt your brains. Sonic high school writer. Yeah, the Sonic high school writer doesn't care. Holy fucking shit! A small corner of the internet. Thank you so much for the $20. You've been like the MVP tonight. Holy shit! Thank you so much. Thank you. Seriously, like I'm speechless right now. Seriously. Who the hell is the King of Fire? Is that a Sonic character? I don't know. Maybe it is. Feels like it is. I'm just going to say it's a Sonic character to piss you all off, okay? King of Fire was the antagonist in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Through Fire. Yeah. They knocked on the house and Espio came out of the door. Here's my invisibility hat that you can use with Rouge tonight to make sex in. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear you when you are wearing the hat, or when someone who is wearing the hat wants you to also be impossible to see and impossible to hear. What? Hold on. Screamed Tails, whose voice is a little hoarse from ordering food with the lunch lady, the lunch lady. Here's the lunch lady. Whose hearing was lost in an earthquake in her childhood. So that's how she lost her hearing, was the earthquake. Tails had to say the things he wanted so loud, she would still say, "What?" And Tails wondered why she even... And Tails wondered why she even had ears if she wasn't gonna use them. Oh my god. Oh... Espio grabbed the invisibility hat from Tails' hands and said, "Cool, thanks," and kept going, so Sonic and Tails left and wished him luck from far away at their own homes. Back at home, Sonic thought it would be good if that Espio would get sex into Rouge, so then he could explain it to Sonic, and Sonic would know how to find Amy's sex spots even better, because otherwise he would have to read about it online, because all he knew about was kissing, which wasn't really sex, but it was probably this... Why is this sentence still going? But it was probably the same thing, kind of the same thing, and Sonic would just read about it online before talking about it anyway, and he would now know the right words for the things then. Oh my god. Sonic sat on his chair that was in front of his Sonic computer and opened up Sonic Instant Messenger and messaged Amy, who was doing the same thing but at her home, and said, "Hey Amy, want to finally become true boyfriend and girlfriend by reaching sex this weekend?" Sonic waited for a long time at his computer, and it seemed like Amy was not there because she did not respond to anything. Sonic played games online and beat all the final bosses because he was like an alien sent to Earth to destroy records by others. Then finally, Amy responded. What Amy said was, "No way!" Sonic was so shocked, his brain must have felt like a total idiot. Oh. So this chapter is pretty tame, all things considered, except for the fortune cookie. I have to psych myself up for this. Actually, you know what? Give me like a minute. I'm going to go grab a bottle of water because I need to be in top prime condition for Chapter 6. So I will be back in about 30 to 45 seconds. See ya. And we're back. Well, what was that? 30, 35 seconds? Wait, put music on. I can't think of anything good right now, unfortunately. I can find like some sexy royalty-free music, but... Just notice the background is Baldi's. Nice. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay, excuse me, I gotta get this. Okay, whoever sealed this water bottle must have been having a bad day. Okay, here we go. The Espio and Rouge sex scene. Chapter 6, Espio and Rouge. Warning, contains the worst sex scene ever written. Oh dear lord. I'm ready. Let's go. Espio walked to Rouge's house because it was time for their date together, and all Espio could think about was that they're about to have to make sex for the first time. Espio looked at the computer and read about. Espio looked at the computer and read about what to do and what the right words were, so he would know how it works and how to say it right, so no one would make fun of him. To put on Closer by 9 Inch Nails for the real experience. Yeah, probably. Thank you for the $2. It was Rouge's house he was at now, and it was in front of him. Espio knocked Rouge's house door. I hope she is home, said Espio, and she was. She opened the door just then. Hello, I'm home, said Rouge, looking always sexy in her tiny baby bra and big cool boobs. Espio thought she looked like the hottest woman in the world that he could see from here. Where are you taking me on our date tonight? Oh, sorry, whispered Rouge in a sex-filled voice. Let's try that again. Where are you taking me on our date tonight? Espio thought this one over on the way over, so he could. That's sex. Well, said Espio, just let me put on this science hat, and we will begin sex. Rouge looked shocked, but she was probably excited too. Espio could tell they. Oh no. Espio could tell they both had an erection. They both had an erection. Oh, Jesus Christ. What? Said Rouge in a shocked way. Right here? Espio said, yes, this hat was made by Tails specifically for our date. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear while I am wearing it. Espio did a cool face at her because being smart can be cool too, as long as you're not a nerd ass. Rouge said, okay, let's go inside, and gently grabbed Espio's hand, but he pulled it back and she fell, causing him to fall, and they both together fell on the grass where they rolled around it until they were in the middle of Rouge's house's front lawn, so there is plenty of room around them for activities. No, said Espio. I want to make sex in you right here. And Espio put on the invisibility hat so no one could see or hear them, and a whole new world of possibilities were optioned to them, so they could do sex in whatever way they wanted, and it was time to start sex right now. Oh geez, it's starting. Excuse me. Ugh. Hold on. Espio revealed his penis to Rouge, who looked at it. Rouge said, cool, and took out her vagina. Espio's penis was really big from looking at Rouge, like when he is in church and it's so boring, but you just get a boner anyway. Rouge's vagina looks like a surprised ghost. Espio's penis approached Rouge like a plane flying down at the airport, but instead of being full of businessmen, it was full of Espio's creamy Italian salad dressing. Ugh. Here it comes. Here it comes, cried Espio, ramming his Mauve Avenger into Rouge's vagina spot. Rouge screamed sex noises, and Espio messed around with her boobs and face like like she was the X-Men arcade game. SBO slapped his big, awesome penis from side to side in her vagina like a hot dog windshield wiper, and Rouge was ripping grass from the lawn. Then SBO used his tail to flip her over. He can do this. And put his penis into her butt. He moved his penis in circles in her butthole like he was building a golf course and digging out the back nine. Rouge was flapping her bat wings like an idiot and not flying because SBO's was holding onto her ass cheeks and pressing into them with his fingers and leaving marks that looked like it said "wow" when combined with the spot where her butthole is. And then and that is what she felt because SPO. Because SBO seemed to be a sex professional. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, excuse me. SBO used his tail again to flip her over and did all-star sex things, like using his penis like a rolling pin on her face and plugging his... Oh god. And plugging his penis into her belly button to see how far it would go and making a balls hurricane with swirling his balls and her balls. Finally, they both got so sexy that SBO's penis ejaculated, and semen came out of it and landed on Rouge, who was lying there on the lawn, but nobody could see them, so it was okay. At that part, SBO screamed, "It's semen time!" And Rouge shouted, "Create a generation in me!" SBO ejaculated semen into her vagina, and that was what happened. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Reminder, the fix logline said there were no graphic descriptions. Yeah, that guy was a fucking liar. Thank you for the $4.99. Now that they were done doing sex, they put their penis and vagina and balls away. And SBO took off the invisibility hat, and it was like nothing ever happened, but they both know it did because they were there for it. "Bye-bye," said SBO, and SBO walked off her property and away to his house and did the rest of his things until school happened the next day. Oh my god. That was insane. That beats anything in Moondaughter. By several miles. A small corner of the internet, $5. I thought I was crass of wanting to do a story about Cammy and an OC having kids together. Worst part was they settled in Cleveland, but this? Oh boy. Nick, are you okay? I'm improving. Thanks for asking. Oh, good lord. You might need a beer after this. I have whiskey. It's fine. Thank you. Thank you for asking, though. Chapter 7. Teenage Women. We had front sex, whispered Espio at the people at his lunch table. Espio was at lunch. Sorry, I'm so confused. Espio was at school in the lunchroom, and also was Tails and Knuckles and Charmy being Vector too. I ejaculated from my penis and into her body. Bet you haven't done that. They had not done that. Wow, cool. You are the coolest after Sonic, said Tails, who was right there, so he didn't have to shout. It was good not to shout because this was supposed to be a secret. Tails did not hear the whole school talking about Espio's penis and balls like with Sonic in Chapter 1, but in a different way. Sex. Yeah, speaking of Sonic, where is that gay bag? Said Vector, who was the captain of the school's football team. Vector was good at this because he was big and strong and had sharp teeth under his mouth. Just kidding, said Vector's. Sonic is cool. I don't know, said Tails to Vector. Where Sonic was somewhere else, trying to find Amy, who was not at lunch. Sonic was knocking on Amy's door at her house. Are you home? Said Sonic. Are you home? It was like Amy was not home because she was not opening the door. Sonic was worried about Amy because she was his only girlfriend, even if she denied his sex offer, so he ran into the door and barged it down like it was made of nothing. Jesus, breaking and entering. Sonic was now in Amy's house. Amy's house was really pink because that was Amy's color. Sonic looked around Amy's house for Amy, but Sonic could not find anyone. Sonic finally went to Amy's bedroom and opened the door up. What Sonic saw next was what he did not expect. Amy was there tied up on her bed with a thing in her mouth so she couldn't talk. Sonic did a scream and ran over to Amy, who was looking at his with tears in her eyes. I need a drink, hold on. She looked sad and starved like African kids. Sonic united Amy, and she sat up and cried into Sonic's arms. It was awful, said Amy. He came into my room in the evening and tied me up on his bed and messed up the things in my room. Amy was right. Her room looked messy. So get a maid, said Sonic, always thinking about a solution to problems. Who tied you up? Who was it? Be calm, Amy. Calm down and talk to me. Sonic patted Amy on the back to help her. It was Shadow. I saw him outside his house next door with a machine gun and a sword going in his house to kill his mom. And he saw me. He knew I saw him, so he tied me up like a brigand. What? Amy said all of this. Sonic was shocked that Amy said this to him. He remembered now that in another part when Sonic said he was going to kill his mom, but no one thought about it more than once because Shadow was always a bad guy. What they didn't realize was that Shadow was serious. Okay, was it him who also said you would not have sex with me on Sonic Messenger? Said Sonic to Amy. Yes, I did not talk to you then, spoke Amy back to Sonic. So how do you really feel about it? Said Sonic, whose brain was now humming with sex ideas. Shit, I don't know, said... Sorry, I had to do that in a southern voice. Shit, I don't know, said Amy, still all worked up then. Give me a day. Right now, let's get things right. So Sonic and Amy went back to school where everyone else was besides them. Sonic and Amy saw Espio walking around between a lot of other people. Hey, here you are, said Espio to Sonic and Amy. I had sex with Rouge last night. Do not tell everyone, said Espio. Oh, that's right, you did. I almost forgot, said Sonic. Hear that, Amy? And Amy was like, yup. You gotta tell me all about it later so I know what to do to Amy, said Sonic, and then turned around. Sonic heard a sound coming from down the hallway where someone was coming. It was a really fat guy that looked so huge to him. The fat guy got closer and closer until they could see who it was, and it was Rouge. Wow, you are so fat now, said Espio. What's that about? Rouge looked mad and surprised at Espio. Well, you got me pregnant, said Rouge. Oh my god, thought Sonic to himself without saying it with voice. She is pregnancy fat. This means she will have a baby. Amy was smiling for real to Rouge. That's so nice. I hope you have a great baby, said Amy. Sonic tried to be a good boyfriend and said, Hope your baby is cool. And smiled. Espio looked more worried than everybody else. So am I gonna be your baby's dad? Said Espio, worried and excited, both. Okay, here comes another one. Better believe it, fag boy, said a voice that sounded just like Shadow's. Oh boy. Now Shadow's saying slurs. Pregananant? No way. Rouge got pregante. How do Rouge get pregante? That is one of my favorite memes. What a line to end that chapter on, by the way. Good grief. Chapter 8. Things Change. Shadow! Sonic shouted. It was Shadow, there. Surprised to see me? Said Shadow. We know what you did to your mother, screamed Amy. Sorry. We know what you did to your mother, screamed Amy like a crazy man. It was... Shadow cut her off and did not let her finish saying the sentence. You did not see anything. I am Shadow, and I know how to commit crimes. You think I have not killed a person before? I have. Shadow crossed his arms and sneered at Amy without looking at her. But I saw you, then Amy said. You saw nothing. I stopped you, Shadow said. It doesn't matter. You were on your way inside your house to kill your mom, said Amy. Amy shook around because she was all nervous and her smaller than Rouge's but still good boobs wiggled a little, and Sonic thought it was cool to see and he wanted to support her. Jesus Christ. I did not kill my mom. I was going into my house to protect her from Dr. Eggman, Shadow said. Ah, okay, said Sonic. And Sonic and Espio went to class because it started and they are still in the high school hallway. He was trying to ship my Ultra Chaos Emerald shards to space so he could collect them in his egg space station, said Shadow to Amy in an explaining way. We gotta do something about him. I understand that you had a reason to tie me up, but do not kill your mother, responded Amy. I was only kidding because other guys were all being too important about themselves, and I do not think it is a good quality for high school students to be. High school students should be nice and caring and not talk about themselves like they are the best because that would only make us all assholes, which isn't what we should trying to be. Shadow said that to Amy. Sorry. Excuse me. Shadow said that to Amy, and she understood that he was a real good guy and had a reason for tying her up on a bed, even if he had bad times or he was dark and did crimes in the cityscape. They both went to class in different directions, so the conversation ended. Later, after school, Sonic went on Sonic Messenger and talked to Espio. Hey, Espio, how are you? Do you know what gonna do about being for Rouge's baby? He said into the computer. Listen, Sonic, this is hard for me to say, said Espio into the computer, which went across the internet to Sonic. I want to get Rouge to get abortion. Sonic was upset because Rouge's baby would not survive it. In fact, Rouge's baby would die. There has to be another way, Espio, said Sonic in Sonic Messenger. But if you really want to do it, that's okay too, because it is your decision. Good, because I want you to help me. I'm going to go to Rouge tomorrow at school and slip the abortion pill in one of her meals. You will help me by distracting her for a minute, said Espio. Then, sorry, excuse me. Hey, Nick Carlson Press, which chapter will we leave on for part 2? 12, 13? We'll see. Okay, see you then, said Sonic. The next day happened, and Sonic was at lunch. I won the science competition, but you didn't come, Sonic, said Tails in a sad, mad way. I wanted you to come because I am such a good friend to you, but you did not. But I won anyway without you. Tails was mad at Sonic, which did not usually happen because they were best friends. Wow, sorry, Tails. I was so busy and I did not know, said Sonic, trying to make Tails happy again. Kiss my ass, Dick, screamed Tails to Sonic and flew out of the room with his flying tails. Jeez. This is awful, said Sonic. He is my best friend. Sonic knew this was a big problem, but changed his mind to thinking about Rouge and Espio and then went over to where Rouge was going to get the abortion pill from Espio. Vector was there too, which was weird because he was usually not. Foreshadowing. Okay, Espio, are you ready? Said Sonic only to Espio. Espio shook his head yes. Hey, Rouge, how are you doing today? How was class? Do you have lots of homework? What are you eating for lunch? Sonic said to Rouge to distract her from Espio. Looks like Sonic did it perfectly because while he was asking these things, Espio put the abortion pill in Rouge's salad. Rouge ate salad because she is thin. Rouge answered the questions, but no one was paying attention because they were now glad it was done. Oh, what is this? Said Rouge, suddenly looking like a shocked woman. What? What is wrong? Asked Espio. He was worrying that Rouge found the abortion pill in her salad and was looking at it. I think I'm having my baby. Here it comes. Rouge said this before she could even eat the abortion pill, so everyone knew the baby was coming for real. Oh no, all of them said together, but Rouge. Oh jeez. Rouge lied down on the ground and they put a curtain around her so no one could really see what was going on because it was going to be it was going to be gross. Yeah, that's the part that's gross. They could see a baby start to come out of her butt, and it was crying a lot. Everyone wanted the baby to shut up already because they were just trying to have lunch, but now there is a baby coming out in the lunchroom at high school. Oh my god. Mrs. Lesson, who was also the school nurse, said, "Get out of my way, kids. I have to help this baby get out of Rouge. Babies are too weak to do this by themselves." Mrs. Lesson went behind the curtain and helped pull the baby out of Rouge's butt, and it was still crying, could you believe it? Rouge was exhausted from her baby, but Mrs. Lesson was not. Mrs. Lesson held the baby in her hands while it was still crying and held it out to everyone. Look at it. Look at it, said Mrs. Lesson. Rouge's baby was red and had long hair and big white fists. Uh-oh. Dun dun dun. Should have taken the abortion. Yep, true. What chapter are we at? Oh, now we're on chapter 9. So we're on chapter 9. Yeah, I don't understand why, Rouge has like a, what was it, 2 days? 2-day gestation period? I don't get it. Bat gestations last for about 6 to 9 weeks. The chat's reaction is what I live for. seriously true. I'm sorry I can't look at it too often. I'm trying my best, like, in between chapters. So, appreciate the $1.99, though. IC Flower Gamer 4474. Thank you very much. My throat's getting sore from all this bullshit. Chapter 9. A Bunch of Babies. Rouge's baby continued to do crying louder than a monster truck. Sonic looked at the baby really close. "Hey, Espio," said Sonic. "Aren't babies supposed to look like you? Rouge's baby doesn't look like you." Sonic rubbed his chin and thought about who it was that it looked like. "Yeah, Espio, Rouge's baby looks like Knuckles," said Vector. "Cool, I'm gonna go tell him." Vector ran like a crocodile would to find Knuckles to tell him that what he said. Rouge was still on the ground looking all tired and sore, and Miss Lesson was rubbing her butt because it was hurting from the baby that came out when she gave birth to the baby. This dang baby was still crying. Espio looked worried about it. "You guys are right. Why does that baby not look like me?" Espio went over to Miss Lesson, who was holding the baby still, and looked at it closer and still could not see himself in the baby. "This does not make sense," said Espio to the baby. Just then, Vector came out of the door, and there was Knuckles too, huffing and puffing and looking surprised. Knuckles went right to Rouge and looked at the baby. "Wagoo!" he said, making that sound when he saw the baby, Rouge's baby, that looked like him. The baby was still crying. "What is wrong with you?" yelled Knuckles at Rouge. "Why did you go and have a baby? Now I gotta be your dad!" He kept yelling at her with the maddest feelings. Knuckles thought about his horoscope that he read this morning, and it said, "Your biggest fear will come true, so you better watch out." Now he knew what that meant. It was about Rouge's baby, because Knuckles did not want this responsibility. It is harder than having a dog. Fuck this story. Rouge was tired and Rouge's baby was crying, but Rouge was crying and scared of Knuckles' volcano rage and said, "I'm sorry. It was supposed to be Espio's baby. I'm sorry it wasn't because he would not treat me like this." What Rouge said sent Knuckles into the next level of his anger. He turned even redder and looked at Espio. "You tried to have a baby with her? Rouge is mine! You are not allowed!" Knuckles charged at Espio, but Vector held him back. Sonic thought, "Vector, why would you bring him here if you just know it was going to cause trouble?" Espio said, "What? I did not know. You are not boyfriend and girlfriend." Espio seemed scared, but still kind of calm. "We are, but it was a secret. Now you have to pay." Knuckles kept trying to get at Espio, but Vector was holding him back. And thank goodness Vector was here because he was the captain of the football team and could restrain him like a crocodile seatbelt that could also... like a crocodile seatbelt that could also talk to you. Knuckles could not get to him, so he said, "Tomorrow we will fight. Meet me in the hallway at the end of the school and prepare for me to beat on your ass, shit man." Knuckles stormed out of the lunchroom and went away. Rouge's baby stopped crying and said, "No, come back. You don't have to fight Espio." But it was too late because Knuckles was so gone by then. Rouge patted her baby on the head and said, "You should go to sleep and get your rest. You should go to sleep and get your rest, baby. You are probably tired." So Rouge's baby went to sleep and was finally quiet. Espio tried his best to look like a big tough guy and not panic, but he was secretly scared and went back to doing what he was doing before this baby thing happened. So did Sonic, too. The rest of the school and getting home from school happened. Sonic did not see Tails or Knuckles for any part of it. Tails was still mad at Sonic. Sonic took out his Sonic phone on his way home and called his girlfriend, Amy. "Hey, Amy, so did you decide if you wanted sex?" said Sonic. "You know," said Amy, Sonic, I am just too stressed out and nervous by everything going on at high school. Things are so crazy. Damn, said Sonic, and hung up the phone and finished getting home. Sonic thought he would never be true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy at this rate. It was almost like she had a second boyfriend that Sonic did not know about, and that was why Amy did not want sex from Sonic. Oops, excuse me. That is why Amy did not want sex from Somic. Fucking Somic. Sonic had dinner and then thought about his friends. Espio and Knuckles were both his friends, but they were intending to fight. What could Sonic do? Sonic figured that they were still both his friend, but he would go visit Espio because he was not the one who said to fight, and because Knuckles had spikes on his hands that would make it hard to beat him in a fight. Sonic went to Espio's house. Ding dong, said Espio's doorbell, and Sonic waited at the door. Espio showed up at the door and opened it. Hey, Sonic, thanks for coming, said Espio to Sonic. You gotta help me prepare for this fight. We can start by learning how to get rid of puncture wounds. I was trying not to look nervous to Knuckles, but actually I was. Also, did you hear about Charmy Bee? Nope, I did not hear, said Sonic back to Espio. Knuckles kidnapped that little gay and is threatening to hurt him if I don't show up to fight him tomorrow. So I have to, especially now, because the gods will crush my soul even if Charmy Bee is an annoying idiot loser, said Espio, then back to Sonic. Oh no, that's really bad, said Sonic. Sonic knew this now had to happen too because his morals were probably the best ever. He did not know Knuckles would stoop to such a mean thing. Sonic and Espio then walked into Espio's house and up the stairs to Espio's bedroom. Our other friend is here too, said Espio just as he was opening the door to his bedroom. Espio, I'm assuming they meant by gay they mean guy. No, I'm pretty sure the author meant gay. I hate to break it to you. Espio finished opening the door, and there was Tails, who was standing in Espio's room. The moment Tails saw Sonic, his face turned into a salad of anger. Oh my god, this is awesome. The moment Tails saw Sonic, this writing is fire. Hold on, wait, I have to highlight this one at a time. The moment Tails saw Sonic, his face turned into a salad of anger, the devil, and lava. Damn! Holy fuck. I can't tell if this was written by an actual child or a very, very angry homophobic adult. It was definitely written by a child. Like, 12-year-olds just say words like that all the fucking time. Last time I was around 12-year-olds... Let me tell you, the last time I was around 12-year-olds, it was like a freaking, like, sailors convention with all the potty mouths I heard. It was horrifying. Anyway. Oh, God. Oh, we have our first author's note. Hold on. Chapter 10. 2 different fights. Author's note. I was going to make this the last chapter, but everyone just loves it, and my brain keeps exploding with new ideas. So I'm going to continue Sonic High School for some longer time and make more chapters. Yay. Why are you here? Screamed Tails with the anger of a million angry birds. Sonic was shocked because Tails was his best friend, and Tails was smart, but Tails was super pissed at Sonic for not coming to the science competition even though they were best friends. Sonic moved his mouth, but words didn't come out because he did not know what to say. Sonic was a mixture of mad and sad and frustrating because he did not know what he could do to get Tails to be his friend again. At times like these, Sonic thought about Amy's fine body because it set his mind at ease. I am here for my friend, said Sonic. Our friend, Espio. We are still friends too. Tails, you are just too mad to see that. I know what I see, said Tails, kind of screaming. I am so smart. Espio tried to get in between them even though it was his house that they were in right now and said, Guys, please, let's just make sure I can fight Knuckles and not get owned. Sonic and Knuckles ignored him for the moment and continued to be in a fuss. I am sorry, bro. I don't understand. What can I do to make our friendship the best one ever once again? Said Sonic to Tails. Tails wiggled his two tails and looked to the side in a thinking way. I don't know, said Tails to Sonic. But you know what? Here, take this. Tails took out a blue book from a spot and threw it on the ground in front of Sonic. It was what it was when Sonic looked at it. It was Sonic's journal. What? How did you get this? Said Sonic to Tails. I gave this to Mrs. Lesson before she read about my ball's problems. I lied. I did not go to the science competition that night. I still went to school. But instead of going to the science competition, I used my science hat of invisibility to sneak into Mrs. Lesson's room and get your journal. I wanted to get your journal that no one else could. I wanted to get your journal so that no one else could read your business and see your gay ball problems that I know you still have, even though you think you're getting better. I was going to give it back to you, but you were not there at the competition like you should have been, even though I am such a good friend to you. Even now, when I could have been reaching my moment of genius, I was doing a thing for you because I want you to be happy, Tails said to Sonic with a voice of emotion. Sonic did not know what to say. High school drama was so insane to be a part of. Sonic picked up his journal and felt like he was going to cry because he was being an asshole jerk to his best friend who was only trying to make him happy. Tails, you do not have to do this, finally said Sonic, respondingly. Ugh. What matters is that I did, said Tails, and also that you did not care for my special day because you were too busy trying to be true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy. Goodbye, Sonic, said Tails right before he flew out of Espio's bedroom window with his flying tails, and then he did. This is so shitty, said Espio to Sonic, who was now the only other person in his bedroom. I still have to fight Knuckles tomorrow, but your different kind of fight with Tails is just as crazy. That is for me to figure out with Tails, said Sonic. Let's get back to making sure you cannot be defeated by Knuckles. Sonic and Espio spent all night in Espio's bedroom, reading books and watching videos about fighting and learning how to be the best at it. By the time the night was over, Espio was ready to face Knuckles. Oh boy. Here it comes. They went to school on this new day, and school happened and was over, and now they were in the hall, where Knuckles said to meet him to fight. There was a crowd of people around him that included Sonic, who looked worried, Rouge, who looked worried and with her baby, and Vector, who was smiling. Also in the crowd was Tails, and with him, Cream the Rabbit, who was Charmy Bee's girlfriend. Cream was a little woman and pretty smart, but not as smart as Tails. Oh god. Okay, I'm telling myself, he aged them up to 18 in this story. It's so weird talking about fucking Cream the Rabbit, knowing that she's 6 canonically, but 18 in this fucking story. Okay. Ugh, Jesus Christ, okay. Her boobs were smaller than both Amy's and Rouge's, but they were still high quality in their own way. It is surprising to most people that oh my god, hold on. Ugh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I think... It is surprising to most people... It is surprising to most people that a gay like Charmy was even allowed to have a girlfriend, but it just goes to show you that the impossible is not what you think it is. Then Espio jumped over the crowd into the middle where Knuckles was.
So you decided to come anyway,
said Knuckles.
Even though you know your ass is gonna get torn up by my moves.
I do not want to fight you, Knuckles, said Espio to Knuckles. But I am doing this for Charmy and Rouge. I am doing this for Charmy because you kidnapped him, and for Rouge because you do not respect her baby." "Then let's do this," said Knuckles. Knuckles charged at Espio with his fists like an elephant running at a hunter trying to kill him for his powers, but Espio jumped out of the way and onto the wall like a pro jumper, which he learned how to do last night. Espio jumped at Knuckles with a kick move, and Knuckles punched at his foot, and they met with a purple and red explosion of power that knocked them both back. They continued to jump around and attack each other, and they did this for a while. It was difficult to watch for everyone. Rouge was in the crowd with her baby. "This is so difficult to watch," said Rouge. "Violence should not be a solution to conflict," said Rouge's baby, peeking out between his hands. "You are right. Why do people do this like this? I hate it," said Rouge to Rouge's baby. Rouge had become a different person since she had a baby. She used to be only sexy, but now Rouge was sexy and matronly. "Yes, fuck this evil world," said Rouge's baby. Rouge then revealed her boob to the baby and had him eat from it as a baby would do. Rouge's baby thought this was the best part about being a baby because not everyone would get cool boobs like this delivered to them on their doorstep like a milkman. Babies do not have much to worry about anyway, so Rouge's ace boobs made paradise a realty for a baby. "I have a feeling," said Rouge's baby. "You should lie down and relax." So Rouge lied down on her back and the fight continued to go on. Knuckles and Espio were both bloody and gross looking, like two waiters who were holding messy foods and then walked into each other, causing their meals to launch into the air, then fall down on them and ruin the nice clothes they got from the store. They were breathing hard and were tired, but they kept going, jumping and kicking and punching and running. It looked like two people doing a dance, but hitting each other also. Knuckles kicked his feet out at Espio, but Espio jumped up and dodged them and came back down and hit Knuckles in the mouth and knocked him onto the floor/ground. Is this enough yet? Are we done?" shouted Espio to Knuckles. "How will this ever end?" Knuckles looked up from the ground at Espio standing over him. Knuckles had a Twinkie in his eye as he looked up at Espio and crawled towards him. Espio did not do anything but watch him and feel dangerous. "Come closer," said Knuckles in a whisper voice. So Espio bent down and put his face to Knuckles. Knuckles looked up and down Espio's sweaty purple body and into his eyes and said, "I respect you," and then grabbed his face gentle as a deer and kissed him on the mouth. When Knuckles kissed him, he did it extra hard, sometimes with his eyes shut and sometimes looking into Espio's deep yellow eyes that looked like a circus of loving men. Their tongues met in the middle of their mouths like two chicken Their tongues met in the middle of their mouths like two chicken cutlets that were acting like cats that loved each other. When Espio was watching fighting videos last night, he was not expecting he was going to have to do kissing too. But he liked it. They went on kissing for a full minute while everyone watched, wondering if they were done fighting or just taking a break to kiss. Finally, the back part of Oh god, here it comes. Finally, the back part of Knuckles' body began to lift off the ground while his mouth was still making out with Espio. Eventually, the power became so strong that his mouth was removed from Espio and their spit was like a shiny extension cord that connected an appliance to a wall outlet. Knuckles then began to glow while floating in the air, and the whole place became a little windy. On the side, Tails said to Cream, "Wow, I know what this is. This is a rare moment of science we will never probably see again in a lifetime or ever. It is called a body donation, and it was invented by Ernestine. It is when someone reaches a moment of such powerful love that they can choose to restart their lives as part of the person they love. Ernestine invented this by making his wife love him so much one night during a romance pasta dinner that she became a baby that was like him, but then he killed his wife, the baby, because he thought it was too dangerous to have her live on in the world without testing it in a laboratory first. It is a fact that if it looks like magic, it is not magic, it is science, so deal with it. I am not dealing with it. In fact, I am struggling. Knuckles glided on the wind forward through the crowd of people in front of him and into Rouge's mouth, where he disappeared into. It was a good thing Rouge's baby had premonitions and told her to lie down, as then Knuckles did a U-turn in Rouge's sex-filled body and came out of her butt as a newborn baby that looked like Espio. This was all science. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ugh. This isn't This isn't real. I refuse to believe this is real. Do you think this is a better story than Empress Teresa? Yes, unironically, because Empress Teresa was just so clearly written by a guy who thought he was so freaking smart. This was just written by a guy who was actually an idiot. So, it makes it slightly more tolerable. Ernestine. Release the Ernestine files. Oh. Even if this whole fic isn't a joke, that last line has to be. There is no way you write that without cackling maniacally. Ugh. Dante Alighieri's disciple. Yep, also true. No, oh 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 god, I just saw the fucking chapter title. Oh jeez. Okay. Okay. What is worse than Empress Teresa? I was saying that Empress Teresa is worse than this story. That's what I meant. I'm just tired, man. No, we're gonna end probably after get to like chapter 12 or 13, then we'll be done. Okay, so chapter 11. Chapter 11, Tails and Cream. Remember, in this story specifically, the author aged them up to be 18. Even though Tails is 8 and Cream is 6, canonically, they are both at least 18 years old in this interpretation. Okay. Warning. Contains another... Oh god, I'm not ready. Contains another shit sex scene, including one part that would theoretically rip a guy's dick off. Oh boy. Okay. That baby is Espio's, said Tails. Tails, being smart, was right. Knuckles had done an Ernestine body donation and became Espio and Rouge's baby, but was still Knuckles. Rouge picked the baby up and held him in her other arm because her baby with Knuckles before he became baby was in her other arm. Now you have two babies to look after, said Tails. The sad part is that this chapter isn't the most disgusting part of the fic. I know. Thank you for the $4.99 Icy Flower Gamer 4474. Thank you very much. Y'all have been so freaking great today. Now you have two babies to look after, said Tails. Good luck. Sonic was on the other side of the hall and wished that Tails was talking to him, but Tails was still mad at him, so he was not. Rouge grabbed her two babies and had them both eat from her terrific boobs. She smiled and felt like a mother, and Sonic thought... Sonic said what he was thinking and said, Rouge, you should name your babies. It will be hard to tell them apart if you do not. Rouge thought that this thought was good. Rouge went over to Espio, who was sitting on the ground looking bad and tired from fighting Knuckles before he became Espio's baby. Hey, Espio, what should we name our baby that looks like you? Said Rouge to Espio. It is still Knuckles, according to Tails, so we should keep his name Knuckles, said Espio to Rouge. Okay, said Rouge, and I will name my baby with Knuckles before he became a baby, Knuckles Jr., because I had him with Knuckles before he became a baby, and he looks like Knuckles before he became a baby. Rouge was happy and walked out of the hall and then out of the school like a bat, and then Espio did the same thing, but in a way that was like a chameleon would instead. There is one thing that everyone is forgetting, said Sonic. Charmy Bee is still locked up at Knuckles' house. I will go rescue him. Sonic ran out of the school and to Knuckles' house. Sonic ran into Knuckles' mom on the way to his room in his house. Knuckles' mom, said Sonic. Some things happened and Knuckles looks different. It will be okay and you will understand soon enough. Please do not worry. Sonic said this in such a way that Knuckles' mom smiled and kept cooking in the kitchen. Sonic was not just fast, but also very good at relieving people. Sonic also noticed that Knuckles' mom was kind of hot, with solid boobs that she had to... I can't. With solid boobs that she had developed for decades. Sonic went upstairs to Knuckles' room, which was painted all red, just like Knuckles before he became a baby. There was a cage in the corner of the room, and Charmy Bee was in it. Sonic unlocked the cage with the key on Knuckles' desk and opened the cage. Come on out, Charmy Bee, said Sonic. You are rescued. Charmy walked out instead of flying out like he always does and said, Thanks, Sonic. I am going to go home to prepare for my role in the play that is soon. I am the lead role. Sonic forgot about the play because the play was the gayest thing in school. But it was going to happen even if no one went to watch it. The next day of school happened and... Oh no. And Tails was in class with Cream. I'm ready. It was a very difficult science class because Tails was the smartest person in the school and he only took the hardest classes. Cream was in the class because she wanted to be mentally challenged. Oh my god. We have a test in this class tomorrow, said Tails to Cream. It is going to be hard, and I have to study for it to make sure I get a good grade. Tails always got good grades, but studied anyway. Tails looked at Cream, who was there. Me too. I'm not doing the voice for Cream, I'm sorry, that's just too creepy. Me too, said Cream to Tails. I know, I have an idea. Why don't you come over to my house tonight and we can study? Studying with you will help me get a better grade. I just know it. This idea was the best thing ever to Tails. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream. Oh no. Oh no. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream and wanted to... Oh god. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream and wanted to feel the body of his sexy friend always, even though she was Charmy Bee's girlfriend. Cream was a different kind of sexy that was only really sexy to some people, but Tails was one of them. Oh jeez. Okay, said Tails, sounding more excited than he wanted to. I will come to your house tonight. Tails was very smart, but he was not the best at getting with teenage women. So parts of his life, this were like a challenge to Tails. It was now this evening, and Tails was getting ready to go to Cream's house. Tails was excited to get closer to Cream, but he was also nervous he might mess it up like a love idiot. He thought about asking Sonic, but then remembered he is pissed at him. Then he thought about asking Espio, but Espio was at the hospital getting all of his wounds fixed from being in a fight with Knuckles before he became a baby. Tails wanted to seem like a sexy man to Cream. Tails wanted to seem like a sexy man to Cream, so he sprayed his dad's colon on himself and put breath wash in his mouth. Tails smelled good and looked good and went to Cream's house by flying. I'm waiting for Tails, said Cream as she sat on her bed in her bedroom studying without Tails. Tails flew into the window. Hi, Cream. I'm at your house now, said Tails. Tails sat on her bed sort of next to her, but not too close to promote sex thoughts. Let's study, said Tails. Okay, remember, once again, they're 18 plus in the story. Wow, before we study, you smell good, Tails. Cream put her face right up against Tails and smelled hard like the big bad wolf before blowing a house down. Ugh. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Tails laughed all nervously and said, Do I really? Oh, ha ha, thanks. I always smell this way. I guess you just notice when you are home. Tails did a little wiggle on her bed and pushed her face and body away because he was nervous. Please, let's study. Tails and Cream studied for the test for the next hour. And the whole time, Tails could only concentrate on one thing. His growing erection. Corn Suwin says, I aspire to write this shamelessly, writer's block. Thank you for the donation. Thank you very much. And one day you will, don't worry. All you need to do is just take characters that are canonically 8 and 6 and age them up to 18. That's all you gotta do to write this shamelessly. Super simple, super stupid simple, really. Tails touched it sometimes while they were studying to make sure it stayed put, and Cream could not see it, but it was getting so big that it would pop out of place, like when the straw in your soda rises up, probably because of the bubbles, and you push it back down, but it just comes back up anyway, so you get iced tea instead. What? These similes, I swear to God. Y'all's therapy is on me. Thank you for your donation to the cause. Jackie and I are enjoying this so far. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Gaping Fiber. Thank you both for the donations. We're gonna need it. Tails was still the most nervous, but he decided that this was his chance. He cannot get another chance as it was as good as this as he didn't. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I've been talking for a long time. He would not get another chance as good as this if he did not take it now. Cream, I have to tell you something, screamed Tails to Cream, letting out all of his nervousness so he could be smooth like a movie star. What is it, Tails? Tell me all about it, said Cream back. looking hot. Oh, Jesus. Tails was not so nervous anymore. Tails said, "Cream, I have lusted after your rabbit genitals since day one. I think you are the hottest woman I have ever been to. I know you are Charmy's girlfriend, but toss him aside and let my penis murder everything inside of you." Tails took out his penis, and he was so in love that his penis was literally screaming. Oh my god. Oh, the chat is going insane right now. Oh my lord. All 91 of you just fucking crashing out right now. "Wow," said Cream. "I did not know you felt this way, but I am glad you do." Because Charmy B is a total gay. Cream reached over and no. 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 Oh. 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 Cream reached over and grabbed Tails' penis and began to give it a good shake. She loved his boner with her hands and pulled him around. And pulled him around the room by his penis like he was a wagon. And to get him more excited. Tails' penis was so big that it was about to burst like someone stepping on a tube of Colgate toothpaste. Tails could feel the semen bubbling up inside his penis, like Santa going back up. Like Santa going back up the chimney when he was done. And the presents he had left down in the house were Tails' balls, which were already there though. Cream was getting hot too. She did not take off her clothes, but Tails could also tell she had an erection. Oh. But just when things were becoming like one of those porns that Sonic had in his room and his mom let him have. Ugh. Cream stopped and said, "No, I cannot do this. Not when I am still boyfriend and girlfriend with Charmy. He may be a fag ass, but we are in a relationship and I need to respect him. I will break up with him tomorrow and we can do sex." Cream collected her things together. "I think I am ready for the test tomorrow. Thanks, Tails." "Aw, man," said Tails. Tails put his scrotum away and was sad about not getting to ejaculate with his dick. "Okay, as long as you promise me your sex." "I promise," said Cream, and then Cream kissed Tails on the cheek. Tails thought it was cool and flew back home. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I think we're gonna do, because this has 25 chapters, what's the next chapter? Oh, it's only chapter 12. God damn it. Okay. So, we're gonna do one more chapter. Chapter 12. And we're going to end it here for the night. Because that was insane. That was actually fucking insane. Gaping Fiber says, Tails must have prime acid biblical riz because that shit stunk. Can you imagine shuttle hallucinations for that? For that shit. Thank you for the $4.99, Gaping Fiber. Okay. One last chapter, because I cannot tolerate much more of this tonight. This will be on the channel for rewatch, right? Absolutely. Yes. Wait, is this a part with the lunch lady? No, I think the lunch lady is, I want to say, chapter 16 or 18. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's chapter 16. Okay. Last chapter for the night. Chapter 12. The most important drama. It was a new day, and Sonic woke up from out of his bed and scratched his balls. He could feel the rash on his balls, and it was getting worse than before. A sickness still ravages my balls, said Sonic as he wrote in his journal that he now had back from Tails when he took it from Sonic after Sonic had given it away to Miss Lesson. Sonic was done complaining about his balls and went to school. In history class, he talked to Amy. Hey, Amy, said Sonic to Amy. Hi, Sonic, said Amy and kissed him hotly like a girlfriend. What is up? Said Sonic to Amy. It is awful. I have bad news, said Amy to Sonic. That stinks. Do you want to have sex later? Said Sonic to Amy. No, thank you. Everything is so busy right now, said Amy to Sonic. My bad news is that I have to go see the play tonight for a class. Wow, that is unfair, said Sonic to Amu. Even the principal says that the play is super gay. But I guess you have to go. Sorry. This school play was so gay. I wanted to know if you would come with me, said Amy in a way to Sonic that sounded like she was trying to be attractive. The play will be much better with someone else there. Crocodilius1123 says, currently writing my own book while listening. If you can write this scum and release it to the world, I can do great things. That's the spirit. You got this. Thank you for the donation, Crocodilius. And please tell us all in the chat what your book is about. We all want to know. I'm serious. Like, it's great that you're writing a book. Icy Flower Gamer 499 says, I don't think my beta readers will ever forgive me for introducing this story to them. You're letting your beta readers read this? What's wrong with you? Do you hate people? Thank you for the 499, Icy Flower Gamer 4474. That is the real bad news. I do not want to go near the play, but I will go soon so we can have sex later, said Sonic back to Amy. Amy kissed Sonic, and so did Sonic to Amy, and they made such a cute, hot couple. Then Sonic and Amy had the rest of the class, and Sonic went to another class thinking about how much it was going to suck that he has to go to the play tonight. The play was just a bunch of people doing gay things and music, like a car full of losers. Sonic was now in a different class where Rouge and Shadow was also in the class. Rouge was with Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. too, like always now. "Hey guys," said Sonic to them. "Hey Sonic," said them to Sonic together at the same time to save to save time. "What is new?" said Sonic to them. Hold on. "It is about a man trying to get home to his wife after the end of the world, combination of deadly flu and a solar flare. He has to learn to be a better man along the way home." Very nice. Very good high concept thing. Good luck on your book, Crocodilus. Good luck.
"Charmy has been acting really weird and different lately,"
said Shadow in a dark way, which is like him.
"He is probably nervous for the play,"
said Rouge suggestively. "I wouldn't make any assumptions, but we should keep an eye on him to make sure he is okay," said Knuckles Jr. Knuckles Jr. turned out to be a really cool baby. "I foresee something strange at the play tonight." "The play is gay," said everyone together, agreeing. Everyone knew it.
"How are you and Tails doing?"
said Shadow to Sonic. "Tails still hates my body inside and outside," said Sonic, with almost tears in his eyes, but he was too big and a man for that. "It is so hard to be best friends with someone who hates you and does not want to talk to you."
"I know how you say it," said Shadow. "A lot of people hate me because I am dark,"
said Shadow.
"But I am not trying to be a supervillain. It is just who I am."
Shadow squinted his eyes at the people around him in a way that is hard to describe and kept going.
"I do crimes in the city, but I am not a bad person. You can do bad things and mistakes sometimes and still be a good person, and people should still like you for it, unless you're a really bad person, like Eggman, who is a shit dick. Maybe some people will see I am a good person, even if dark."
Knuckles Jr. is this story's Bran Stark. True. Thank you for the donation, Icy Flower Gamer. Sonic listened to what Shadow said so powerfully that it was like Sonic wrote down everything on a piece of paper and put it back in a special folder and put that folder in a safe place so he could always go back to read it. Then Sonic itched at his balls. His balls were a wreck. That class ended and the rest of school did too, and Sonic went home thinking about his balls were like two blimps covered in volcanoes that could fit on the blimps and itched as well. When Sonic got to his home, Sonic's mom walked up to him and said, "Sonic, I went to clean your room and saw what you wrote about your your gay ball problems. I am worried about your balls and fear it could be a mortal illness, so I made a doctor's appointment." What is this, a rage comic? "But first we will have dinner. I got more Chinese food because I know how much you liked it last time." "Don't read my journal, Mom," screamed Sonic. Then Sonic went and ate the food, and just like last time, wouldn't you know it, there was a fortune cookie, and Sonic opened it and ate the cookie part and kept the paper inside to read the magical fortune on the paper. He looked at the paper and read it and said, "One man's pubic illness will cause the death of millions." Some people did not believe what fortune cookies said, but Sonic knew they were magic and were always right, so he was a little worried and wondered what it could mean. Okay. Just word of warning, folks. If the limo driver who's like a person but darker colored was problematic for you, this is going to get really bad. So, but I'm still going to read it, but just word of warning. Then Sonic went to the doctor. Sonic did not like going to the doctor because he was Chinese. like the food Sonic had, and made him feel nerves. Oh my god. Sonic went into his doctor room and sat on the chair that the doctor told him to. The doctor took out some papers and looked at them. "Hello, Sonic. It has been a while since I saw you last. Sonic's mom tells me you are having problems with your balls. Gaping Fiber says, this story is a disappointment. Nice. Thank you for the donation. Minus 67 social credits. True. I'm going to do some tests on you, but first... Okay, sorry. I'm going to do some tests on you, but first I'm going to look at your papers. I see from looking at your papers that your balls and penis are the biggest in your high school. Good job, Sonic. Why does the doctor have records of this shit? Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Sonic appreciated the truth and nodded his head and smiled. It was okay to talk about your penis and balls with the doctor because that is what they do, even if it automatically makes them gay. The doctor made a lot of money, so being gay was probably worth it. Oh, dear Lord. Then the doctor started doing tests. Sonic passed all of them awesomely, and even the doctor was surprised at how Sonic was the best at everything, except being smart, which Tails was the best at, but Sonic was still pretty smart too. Then they got to the last test, which was about Sonic's balls. The doctor took out a test tube and filled it with pieces from Sonic's balls. Eck. And he tested them with machines. The machines printed out reports about it, and then the doctor took them. Oh boy. And looked at them with his very, very Chinese eyes. Oh my sweet Jesus. I cannot believe I just read that out loud. This looks bad, said the doctor, looking at the reports that the machines printed out about Sonic's balls. It looks like you have a big disease. Uh-oh, what do I do now? Said Sonic to the doctor. Really worried about the welfare of his balls. I do not know. This is a legendary disease that only comes around once every 1 million years. No one has ever found a cure for this disease, and what it can do is very bad. This disease will go from your balls to your penis and then up to your brain, and it can kill you eventually. There are other things that it does probably, but I do not know because it is so rare and you'll just have to call me up and tell me what it does when you find out. All I can tell you right now, Sonic, is to keep your balls away from everyone you know. Do not touch them to other people because it will spread and they will die and it will spread more and the whole world may be at stake here. Please be safe, said the doctor in a calm way, but also scared because it was so serious. No, but I have to do my first sex with Amy. We're going to do it at the play, which I'm going to from here, said Sonic, crying, sad and mad and afraid of things. Balls are an important part of sex. Sonic was always so healthy and the fastest person ever. But some things just cannot be stopped, like this ball disease. Too bad, said the doctor. If you do that, it will be awful, and the first person to die will be Amy. You should not want your girlfriend to die. The doctor was right, but Sonic was so worried about it. Holy shit, hold on. Gaping Fiber. Sonic worked really hard to make the Olympic choking team. Yep. Thank you for the donation. A donation for the whiskey you will definitely need in order to finish reading this next time. Thank you very much, Cultured Swine 623 for the $20. You know, $20 might actually get me like either a bottle of okay whiskey or 2 bottles of cheap whiskey. So thank you very much for the help, and thank you for funding my incipient alcoholism. Okay, well, I have to go to the play now, said Sonic, and ran out with the most nervous feelings that Sonic has ever had. Sonic thought about it, and it was the most important high school drama. What is more important, health or love? Holy shit, everyone. Oh my god. Moondaughter is like a freaking like cakewalk compared to this shit. Oh dear lord, the outdated language, the racist jokes, I mean just it's all too much. I don't know when part 2 is going to happen. I don't know. It will happen soon, like sometime next week probably, just so I can get it out of the way. Now that we're all here, all 95 of you, holy shit, 95 of you heard me talk about the Chinese doctor's very, very Chinese eyes. So now that you're all here, I can exclusively reveal that the next big book review is concerns a self-published book that attained a lot of notoriety back in the late 2000s. A young adult fantasy novel, or middle grade. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, then you could probably guess it. I'm not going to say the title now, but y'all will find out eventually. But anyway, yeah, part 2 will come whenever I announce it. So, take care, everyone. I will see you all next time.